Hey guys, it's been a while since I've been on, but we finally got a little bit of news in the NBA. If you haven't heard yet, mega deal just happened. Kyrie Irving is headed up to Massachusetts, up to Titletown. Yes, it did happen. He got what he wanted. It looks like that Cavaliers organization is in disarray, but, they got a deal done. They knew LeBron. It hasn't been no secret. LeBron is leaving after this season. There's been a whole lot of turmoil between all the players in the front office. Last year, after the Cavs won the championship, Kyrie went into the front office and demanded a trade. Basically wants to get out of the shadow of LeBron James, it seems like. He wants to have his own team, so he can kind of do this. So the deal is for Kyrie. Basically, they're swapping Kyrie Irving and Isaiah Thomas, so they got 2 point guards. And in return, the Cavs are kind of restocking their team. They get Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, as I just said, Ante Zizic, and the Nets' 2018 first-round pick unprotected. So that's huge. I mean, nobody could pry this pick away from the Celtics for the longest time, but looks like Danny Ainge did one of his tricks up his sleeves again. But this is a great move, I think, for the Celtics. I mean, it kind of sucks for us as Sixers fans because it makes our division a little bit harder. But I like the competition. I'll bring it on. That's fine. And it's great, too. It's team-friendly because Kyrie's under contract for the next 2 years. He's got a player option, 2019, 2020. So I'm sure if he likes where he's playing, which he will, because the Celtics looks like they're going to make a run for it for a long time. They're young, and they still have plenty of assets. And in return, the Cavaliers were losing everybody. They had to trade Kyrie to kind of restock and reload because you're losing LeBron, and he was really the only player you could restock the whole team with. Any guy of real value, really, because without him, you just got a bunch of old role players, with Jefferson and all those other guys there. But this is great for them. The Nets are projected to be probably the worst team in the NBA again. So kudos for the Cavs to pry that away from them. I know they really wanted Jason Tatum in the deal, and it looks like the Celtics weren't having it. So I guess they decided to just throw in that 2018 first round pick. This just adds a whole nother monster to the Celtics team. I think they're even better now. You don't really have to worry about defensive liabilities like you did late in games with Isaiah just because of his size. And you get younger at the position, not too much younger. I mean, 3 years. Isaiah's also 28, and this saves them a lot of money. It doesn't put you in that awkward position for Danny Ainge, too, because Isaiah wants a max contract after this year. So is the Cavs going to give it to him? I don't know. I guess they're going to have to see how he plays, but I think this is a great move for the Celtics. Again, sucks for the Sixers, but it's all right. We'll be bringing the battles back from the late 80s when we were battling them for the division and championship. So I think that's going to be really good for the league and for our division. Bring it on. I still think we're going to be able to take you, but you look at what this really adds to the Celtics offense. You have a pure scorer, point guard. I think he's a way better scorer than Isaiah. He's bigger. Defensively, he's not as much as a liability as Isaiah is, just because of his size. But, I mean, Kyrie isn't an all-elite defender. He's not an all-defensive player. But the guy can just flat-out score. He can shoot the basketball. He shoots a higher percentage. He's the best finishers in the game when he's around the rim. Is he really a pure point guard? No, but either was Isaiah Thomas. They're both ball-dominant, but you get a huge upgrade here. So that's huge news for for the NBA. Other teams that were interested was the Knicks and the Suns. The Cavs have been in talks, and this kind of just happened today. The talks got increasingly more rapid, as you heard on. You heard it a little earlier today. And then, yes, they did, Kelly Green Wings. They did get the Nets pick. Unprotected, so the Cavs have potential to get the #1 overall pick next year. So, I mean, this was a great move, I think, for them. That's messed up. Yeah, I know, right? So we'll see what they get. What the Cavs can get. They lose LeBron James. I don't think there's a transcendent player coming out next year. Like a LeBron James or what have you. But it seems like the Cavs always strike gold with this. They always somehow seem to land the first round pick. They did it when they lost LeBron, and now he's leaving again. And look, as luck would have it, they somehow land another potential top pick. Now, it's not guaranteed they're going to get it, but they have a great chance of landing it. That pick is going to be a top pick. It probably will be, Kelly Green Wings. Because the Nets, they're an abomination. They're just, they have an abysmal lineup. They don't really have any talent. I mean, Brook Lopez was the only real sheer player on that team, and they shipped him out to L.A., so what do they really have? Just a lot of young pups there. They're going to go through a lot of growing pains, but that's Billy King for you. Thank God, again, I've said this over and over, he didn't do that to the Sixers. I mean, they traded away all those picks for guys that were over the hill, and all unprotected to make it worse. Celtics still have the Lakers pick. I know, the Celtics are still fine. They still have a horde of draft picks. They could still make more moves. So by only giving up really one pick, I mean, I think that was essential that the Cavs had to get that Nets pick just because it's unprotected. But the Celtics are fine. They still have a horde of draft picks. This whole thing is a scam for the NBA. Hey, it could be. I've been preaching that for years. I really think it's somewhat fixed to have the bigger markets do better. I mean, obviously, it's better for the NBA. They make more money. You bring back old rivalries. So it's kind of cool, though. I kind of like it. It gives us competition, so nobody can say we're in a weak division. So it's going to be a lot of fun battles. I didn't get to see the battles in the 80s with the Sixers and the Celtics. Do you think they will trade Rose, Crowder, or Tristan? Well, Crowder was actually involved in the deal, and he's got the most team-friendly contract for the Cavs now because he's under contract for the next 3 years at only $7 million. And Jay Crowder is a really solid player. I know they really wanted to get Jason Tatum, the Cavs did, but I don't think Danny Ainge was having that. So he was willing to give up the Nets' unprotected pick as opposed to giving them Tatum. So I think they wanted that established player. He's going to be their young building block for the Celtics for the next 10 to 15 years. They hope. But just wanted to get that news out there. I'd love to see the battles between us. Markelle Fultz versus Kyrie Irving. I'm a Mavericks fan and regret getting Crowder for a lousy Rondo who quit in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, that was the steal for that trade for the Celtics because Crowder really wasn't anything in Dallas, and then he really started to shine when he got to the Celtics. I mean, he was really merely a role player out there in Dallas, and he really showed up and put in work when he was with Boston. He became a legitimate three-scorer, I think. He's a guy that can lock down defenders. He can guard multiple positions too, and he can shoot the crap out the ball. So, that was a great pickup. And that Ante Zizic is not a bad player at all either. So, they've got a young center coming up too for the Cavs. So this was a really good move for the Cavs. They were in dire straits, really. This is all or nothing for this year. They've got Kyrie, they've got LeBron for rental for one more year, and then everybody's picking up and leaving town. Well, they don't have, obviously, Kyrie anymore, but, this is all to keep LeBron here, but we know with his relationship with Dan Gilbert, he is packing up and probably headed out to the West Coast. So they needed to restock and reload, get some young talent in here, and Kyrie was their best option to do that. They didn't want to lose him. Why diminish his value as years go on? You want to try to act and strike while the iron's hot, and that's what they did. So kudos to them. They're probably going to have a top pick this year with that Nets pick. And they got a young center in Ante Zizic. And they got Isaiah. Where do you think Isaiah is going to go after this year? That's a good question, Marcus. I don't know. I don't know if the Cavs really want to pay him a max deal of $200 million is probably even going to increase with the player agreements going up next season. So the players can get even more money. I think it's outstanding the kind of money they make these days, but it's going to go up even higher. So I don't know who's really going to give him that max contract. Somebody will. To who it is, I'm not quite sure. But he really is kind of a liability just because, one, his age, he's 29 years old. He's not a spring chicken anymore. And he's a liability at the end of games when it comes down to locking down defensively. He can just get overpowered. I mean, he has really proved everything. He doesn't owe anything to anybody. He was the last pick in the draft in the second round. I think he deserves to get some money. I don't know about... I still say he deserves max money because he can still run a team. He's not a true point guard. He's a ball-dominant guard, but he'd be able to help some team out, maybe some playoff team or some team that just want to sell some tickets and get people in the seats. You know, somebody will give him max money, definitely. But what do you guys think of this trade? Do you like the trade for both parties? Or do you think somebody got fleeced on either end? Now remember, the Celtics still have so many draft picks, so they could still make another move if they need to. The eye on the prize that Danny Ainge really wants to get is AD. Now, does he have enough firepower to go out there and get AD? I definitely think they do. But adding Kyrie Irving to this offense to go with Tatum, Jaylen Brown looked really good during the Summer League. So they're going to have a really nice young squad. They've had all those draft picks from previous years from the Nets, so they've really slowly built this thing up. And now they have a potential. I would call Kyrie a superstar. I think Kyrie is a superstar. I think it's safe to say that. The kid is not even in his prime yet. He's only 25 years old, and look what he has. Plus, he comes out of the shadow of LeBron James. He's always really wanted his team. So this is going to show maybe does Kyrie have more flaws that we really didn't see when he was on Cleveland because LeBron really covered those up. Because if you remember, do you think Kyrie, Hayward, and AD... You know, I don't know if they can get AD. I think the Pels would be stupid to let AD go because he's definitely top 3 player in this league. He's a franchise player. You just don't let talent walk away like that. I think they have to try to do everything they can to lock him up. I know they did that by acquiring DeMarcus Cousins. You know, it's too early to really say if that was a failed project because it was only a half a year. So let's give it another chance to see if they can really get something going. But I was thinking if Cleveland landed Boogie Cousins, they really, really could have competed and beat Golden State to have a center of his caliber, or even, you know, Anthony Davis. Get him down low, guy can block shots, guard the rim, can dribble the ball, can shoot. That is Danny Ainge's, you know, golden egg right there is Anthony Davis. But this looks like a really great team. Looks like Hayward really paid off. Do you think it's possible for Cleveland to get Blake Griffin? No, definitely not. I mean, he just signed that huge contract with the Clippers, so he's not going anywhere. Yeah, Thompson, I think, shouldn't. I still think Pelicans are not a playoff team. Well, no, they're in the West. If they would have landed maybe Kyrie, but what are they going to give up? It's tough when you don't really have that many pieces or trade chips or any value of giving anybody up other than Anthony Davis. I mean, you have Boogie Cousins, but it's not guaranteed he's going to sign there next season. So I don't think they're still far away. And then they gave Drew Holiday all that money. I thought Drew Holiday's an okay point guard. They could have waited next year to maybe try to snag Russ Westbrook away or even make a play on Paul George. I mean, but I think it's safe to say Paul George is probably going to head out to L.A. But the move for the Cavs, this is great. For the Cavs, they land that #1 pick. They have a young center now in Ante Zizic. He's not going to play over in Europe, so he's going to play in the NBA this year. You know, he's a really good player. He looked really good in the Summer League this year. So they could build off of that. They didn't land Tatum. So Ainge was able to keep his prized possession from this year's draft. LeBron and Cousins could go to the Knicks next year. Oh, God. Let's hope not. The Knicks are another abomination. They might be worse than... let's not say that. No, that's not true. The Knicks are definitely worse, but the two New York teams are definitely the worst in the whole NBA. I mean, it's pitiful. I feel bad for those Knicks fans to have to pay all that money to watch that crap out on the floor. And they tried to win. It's not like they did what we did and rebuilt and tried to lose and get as much talent that we could. and accumulate draft picks and do everything we could to rebuild. They just love to stay in mediocrity and not move up or down. It seems like they go backwards. I feel bad for Melo, to tell you the truth. But adding Kyrie Irving, like I said, he didn't even hit his prime. He gets out of the shadow. But we will see if his flaws shine through now, because definitely LeBron makes everybody better. And I could think it's safe to say that he made Kyrie better. Now, before LeBron came to the Cavaliers, look at what the team did with Kyrie. And he didn't really play any full seasons because he was injured, but still. What did they do? Win 21 games, win 27 games. They didn't do much. He wasn't able to put the team on his back and carry them. He ain't a winner without LeBron. Yeah, I definitely think you're right. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can put a team on his back, because that's what he essentially wants to do. Well, Cleveland and Boston starting 5, are they not done making moves? I think after this, the Celtics are done making moves, and Cleveland, they're just looking for the future. I just think this next year they're going to try to make a push for a championship, but it would be pointless for Cleveland to really make any other moves to try to keep LeBron there, because he's molded that team on what he wants, on how he wants the offense to be played around him. So if I was Dan Gilbert and the GM there, I forget his name, that's just turmoil out there in Cleveland right now, though. With the front office down, you're letting LeBron. They were trying to do everything to keep LeBron there. It's just not going to happen. It's just too much bad blood between him and the owner. So I think they look to the future. They got Zizic, they've got Jay Crowder, and they've got that pick. They got that 2018 pick from the Nets, so they're looking for the future now. Where are your Lakers sticker on the wall? Whoa, they're all the way over there on the west. I mean, this is the east side. They're over there. I've got the entire NBA of my fat heads on the back, but, I mean, I got to represent my squad. I'm always going to sit near the Sixers sticker, because we're going to be defeating the Celtics year in and year out when we're going for the championships. Yeah, we'll see. I'm assuming you're a Lakers fan then. L to the O to the 24, is that for Kobe Bryant? The favorable point of this deal for Boston is that Kyrie still have 2 years left on his deal. Yeah, exactly. So you get that off the books, Marcus. You don't have to worry about trying to give him a max deal, and he doesn't hurt you. He's younger, and he's not a liability on defense as much as Isaiah is. But I definitely think this is a great deal. I'm going to be making a video about the Sixers schedule in about 5 minutes, but yeah, great deal for both teams. Kyrie has a new home. Doesn't have to. Now we'll see if there's really bad blood between him and LeBron during the season. Let's see if Kyrie can put this team on his back. This is what he wanted. He's out of LeBron's shadow. Let's see if he can become a transcendent player, be that superstar, and take the Celtics all the way to the championship and win him a championship. Because I think he was a little unappreciated in Cleveland, especially when they won the championship. I mean, obviously, LeBron, phenomenal player, best basketball player in the NBA. I definitely think Kyrie, 2 years ago, should have got more credit than he did. Hitting that game-winning shot, it just seems like after it was all over, it was the LeBron show. But Kyrie had a really good game. I mean, it was definitely a team effort with both of them. LeBron couldn't have won it without Kyrie, and Kyrie couldn't have won it without LeBron. How what? L2 to the 024. If I'm saying that right. How what? I don't know what you mean. And that'll be my last question of the video. Michael James Porter or Marvin Bagley to Cleveland next year. I'm hoping we can somehow land those guys. But I'm thinking Bagley's definitely going to go #1. I mean, they both have the same skill set. How is he underrated? I don't know. I just feel like he didn't get as much love for what he did. I mean, he's a pure scorer. I just feel like all the kudos went to LeBron all the time. He was not. You don't think he would be anything without LeBron? Like nothing? You think he's an average player without LeBron? I don't know about that. I don't know if I can get behind that. But I just feel like he should have got just as much credit because, like I said before, LeBron wouldn't have won a championship without Kyrie. They needed each other to win that championship. He doesn't make players better like LeBron does. You're disappointed with Boston? Why is that, Nuts Daily? You don't like the deal then, I'm assuming. Wow. Hey, we will see if he's an all-star, not a winner without LeBron. I mean, he sure wasn't when he first got into the NBA. The first 3 years without LeBron, I mean, he didn't do anything. They only won 20-some games. But when you have a player like LeBron, I can kind of get it. I can kind of get where Kyrie's coming from. Yeah, he wasn't that good without LeBron, but the team was built for LeBron. Yeah, I know. That's true. So we'll see if Brad Stevens changes the offense to kind of build around Kyrie, or is he just going to leave it as is? I don't want to pass first, then shoot or Kyrie ain't going to do that. Kyrie's definitely not a pass first point guard. He's not really a point guard. I see him more as a combo guard. He's not a pure point. He's a score first point like a lot of these guys in the NBA now. But I think he adds more versatility than Isaiah Thomas had. I mean, the guy can flat out shoot. He can get to the 10 at will. I think he's got the best handle in the game. I mean, he's got freaky sticky fingers the way he can just manipulate that ball. And he's one of the best finishers in the game, if not the best finishers around the rim. But that's it. I think it's a great... Where do I rank him as point guards? As a combo guard, like I said, I can't really consider Kyrie a combo or a point guard. He's more a combo guard. Gordon and Kyrie think we're gonna have chemistry problems? No, I definitely don't. Now that Gordon's back with Brad Stevens, I think this is gonna work out well because he can work well off the ball. Who's gonna take it up? This is gonna be team chemistry. They have to get some reps in together. Who's gonna be taking the ball up because Kyrie can work off the ball too. I think he's better suited as a 2. And then you got Jason Tatum. Don't forget about him. He's a ball-dominant guy. So we will see. But that's going to be it for me, guys. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comment section. I think this is a great trade for both teams. Cleveland gets to restock their farm, technically, since LeBron's going to be leaving the coop and Kyrie is now gone. That gave them their best chance to establish a new era in Cleveland, and Boston gets their guy. They don't have to worry about Isaiah Thomas anymore, about weighing him down financially, so they can even sign potential more free agents. They won't be weighed down with that $200 million contract. And that's that. It's going to be fun to watch. Going to be an interesting next 5 to 10 years because we're going to be battling with the Sixers for that spot. We're bringing back the 80s, baby. It's going to be awesome. This is Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. Tune in for my next video. It's going to be another 5 minutes. Again, you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments sections, y'all. I'll talk to you. Peace.